Oh, man. Oh. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a fucking guy over here somewhere popping off a little 22, which is cute. It was real funny the other day. I had somebody up here apparently was shooting off some AR, and apparently it's a big deal not to shoot out here. And everybody out here's got land and shit. Like, I mean, multiple acres. You know what I mean? Up in the mountains, and you know, kind of find out that shooting up here is kind of a big no-go. And I was just, man, this is your fucking property, man. Anyway, um, I I had said a while ago that I was gonna make a video talking about my experience so far with fucking getting a job, which is really funny because even the more and more I say it, that this is the very first job that I've ever had as an adult, which it is, it's still just super funny because when you tell that to people, especially all the fucking young kids that I work with, you know, they kind of look, even though they all know I was a Marine, you know, they kind of look at me sideways. But, I mean, I feel even weirder than I'm sure they fucking see me because, the whole process so far of getting the job, since I got out here was such looking for a job, applying for it, and getting it is one of the simplest things in the world. But all the mental and emotional shit that comes along with getting that or doing all that, you know, from my experience, you know, and I know through at least a few others in the veteran community, you know, it has definitely been challenging. And to tell you a story about, you know, a buddy of mine, a brother, he knows who he is. I won't drop any names, but you know, retired out of the army, Green Beret, just, you know, total gangster, and he retired and moved back home and looking for a job. You know, I mean, what do I do? What am I gonna do? Looking for a job. And anyway, he applied for a security job at a fucking school, you know, which is like a perfect, I mean, that would be awesome, man, you know what I mean? Especially if you like working around kids, if you're a father, which he is, you know. And anyway, he called me up, like, you know, he's telling me the story and how he got denied because, you know, they had told him he was way overqualified, which I completely fucking 100% get, and I'll get to that with my own experience. But and anyway, like, he was being all motivated and telling me, you know, he wants to run the thing eventually. During the interview process, they had asked him, you know, where he sees himself in, like, you know, a handful of years. And, you know, he said some motivated shit like running this, you know what I mean, and yada yada yada. And afterwards they were telling him, yeah, you don't say that you want the job of, you know, you don't want to run the business because, you know, that threatens us and yada yada yada. And anyway, he was in disbelief about them saying that to him, and I was as well. And you know, it's almost it is a complete entire change in mentality, and thought process, and perspective on things, when you're getting a job in the civilian sector, you know. And I know that's been a huge fucking issue with a lot of fucking guys, you know, and a lot of guys and gals in the veteran community, man, that when they get the fuck out, it's just like, you know, one of the reasons that they can't get a job, keep a job, function, all those things, is because they feel just completely different and alienated from a lot of the communities that they plug into, as far as employment goes, you know. And that's been that has been my experience since I've been out, but even since I've had a job for the past couple of weeks, you know, you realize quickly how fucking just, holy shit, you know, the way that you function in the military and thought and just the way you lived is completely different than, anyway, I mean, that's all the obvious. But, you know, it's it's actually a fucking big deal. You know, it's significant as shit for a lot of people to get over a lot of the shit, you know, mentally and emotionally, especially when you were like a leader in the military and then like a combat leader and, you know, fucking led dudes in combat and trained motherfuckers and all that shit. Like, you're having to start back. Oh, well, I mean, if you're trying to just, if you have no job experience other than the military, and for me personally, like, when I got out, I immediately went to being a fucking stay-at-home parent, you know, and because my fiance at the time was still active duty, you know, still is, and anyway, like, I didn't go in the fucking workforce, so when I'm applying for these jobs, like, fuck, I have no experience other than being in the Marine Corps, you know what I mean? So even when you're applying for a job like I got at the theater, you're like, I have fucking no experience in doing this shit at all, you know? And anyway, that's the thought process, that's the initial feeling you have and the initial thoughts you have and things. And, you know, once you actually, for me, since I've been in it, man, it's the easiest job in the fucking world, in my specific situation. But again, getting past all the mental and emotional shit, because you're starting back at square one. You literally are, most of the time, and in my experience, that's what's happening. And you know, it is such a weird experience. Really trying to embrace and keep humility in the forefront of your entire process, my entire process during this. Like, it is a struggle because, again, like, I'm working with teenagers and, you know, fucking my peer group, which is like the managers, you know what I mean, who are all awesome and everything like that, and I really enjoy all the people I work with. Now, having said that, from my experience, I could fucking run circles around these you know what I mean? Like, oh, it is troop management. That's all it is. Troop handling, man, and being a fucking small unit leader. That's what it is. And it's the exact, like Jocko Willing fucking says all the time, man, like the exact same principles in leadership in the fucking military are the same principles everywhere else in life, with yourself, with your family, with your job, with your company, all that shit. And that has, even in the very fucking limited time I have had working at this fucking basic entry-level job, that has been a fucking huge, just prominent, you know, on display. Because again, the leadership that I have, the management, they're all decent fucking leaders, and you know, they're all good people, and again, like, it is the qualities that I look for in these people are the same qualities that I looked for when I was still in leaders in the military. So it's it's a strange experience. But having said that, like, going back onto the humility aspect of that, because again, you are working with teenagers and serving popcorn, and you're getting, your bosses are people that you professionally know that you could exceed in performance, you know, and it's just, and then on top of that, like, you know, someone like, you know, for me personally, I really appreciate hard work and all that shit, and not being too proud for fucking work, and earning money the best way you fucking can and the hardest way you can, no matter what it is the fuck you do. If you're a good worker and a good leader and a good follower and all those things, it doesn't fucking matter what you're doing. You should be fucking good at it and try as hard as you fucking can, no matter what. You know, and that's the mentality that I really try to have as well. Is, yeah, I know all the things I've done. I know all the things I've been through. I know all the shit that I've had to fucking shovel and all the fucking everything. You know what I mean? Like, having said all that, it shouldn't matter what the fuck it is that's happening or what it is that I'm doing. That I'm just fucking, you know, kicking the shit out of it no matter what it is. And having said that, it's still really fucking hard to keep that in your forefront, man. And I think that having humility and having the work hard mindset, man, it's that's why it's hard to have, because it's hard as fuck, because it's easy to bitch, it's easy to complain, it's easy to be lazy, it's easy to just dismiss all that shit, and it's easy to be like, man, I'm so fucking beyond that. I can't do this shit, man. I can't function in the middle. I can't do the, you know, man, fucking civilians. I can't just fucking be around them, or, you know, I could do, say, and feel all that, because I kind of do. I definitely have those feelings, 100%. But that's not how I want to behave, and that's not how I want to fucking live. And that's like shit that I used to do, man. And again, like, you know, my whole thing now is go forward, man. Don't go fucking back. You know what I mean? I'm trying to do hard shit intentionally, pursuing fucking hard shits. You know, and you know, that's why you do it. But it's still hard. Again, it's hard as fuck to dismiss all of those other fucking things that you do feel and you do think, because you do feel, man, I'm fucking too good for this shit. I'm so fucking far beyond that. Fuck these motherfuckers. You definitely think and feel those things, but you know, those aren't the fucking voices I want to listen to. That's my evil self. You know what I mean? That's all the shitty fucking parts of myself that are trying to get me to fucking do things that, you know, I used to fucking do that didn't make me any fucking happier and didn't make my life better at all. You know, so I gotta be able to dismiss all that shit. But anyway, having said all that and rambling on, you know, it's been fucking good. The job's cool as shit. I'm super grateful for it. It's decent money. There's cool ass fucking people, you know. I get to fucking meet new, and those are all the cool things about it that I try to focus on as well. Talk movies. I get to fucking nerd out as much as I want to, man, because I'm a total fucking nerd and crazy person. So, you know, just talking random fun conversations about movies and all kinds of dumb shit, man. It's a good time, and it's constant simple labor, man. You're constantly moving, constantly getting shit done, you know, which is a lot better than sitting around doing nothing. You know what I mean? And a lot better than you know, sitting around doing nothing, talking to nobody, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm super grateful for it. And, you know, it's funny. It's just so funny the way life works out and the things that, the lessons that life teaches you and the vehicles that it uses to teach you those lessons is just like, fuck, man. You know, it's so funny. But anyway, yeah, that's been my experience thus far with the whole job shit, and the money issues, man, because that's another thing all in itself. Having, now that my ex and I are split, and I'm having all these issues. Well, I've had a lot of financial issues lately. Then thank God I have this disability from the military, because if I was relying alone on this job, I wouldn't have a fucking pot to piss in, you know. But thank God I have this ability, because it is my lifeboat right now. It is keeping me afloat, and this job is what's making me comfortable. Is allowing me to. I've only been paid once, but it's allowing me to finally kind of, you know, set things right and be able to really focus on aspects of my life that I really need to, you know. So for once, you know, I can see my kids a lot more, you know. Once I start actually fucking having money, I can make things here suitable for, you know, me to have them, you know, for however long, and for me to travel to go see them and shit like that, which is my priority right now. I mean, I'm pursuing personal things as far as goals and shit like that in the professional world, but mostly in my life, I'm trying to create a life, you know, so where I can lead my children more as the most important thing. So, you know, it's definitely hard as fuck every day trying to move towards that goal, because so much shit happens in life that just tries to kick you in the fucking nuts, you know, to bring your ass fucking down and to slow you down, and it all happens, man, and all that shit. Life don't get any fucking easier. You know, things don't stop happening. People don't stop fucking with you and being shitty and all those things, you know, but it is completely our decisions to fucking let those things dictate our actions, you know, and I'm not going to let that happen anymore. I choose not to, you know, as much as I want to fucking revert back to old habits, I fucking refuse to. So anyway, I'm running my suck now, so yeah, I'll shut up. Oh man. I hope that turned out okay.